Without doubt, this has the biggest influence on hitting the ground in the same spot every time. All the research shows that this works, and moving your pelvis shifts the low point so you get that ball and turf contact consistently and continuously. Let's go through how we can make this happen for you with very little effort. So what we're talking about today really is making sure that our pelvis moves laterally the right amount in order to get the club landing in the right spot every single time. And obviously we want that club to land after the ball. The lowest point of the golf swing for most elite golfers is 4 to 5 inches after the ball. That is what we're kind of aiming for. But if you manage to get that low point after the ball, even by 1 inch, you will get good contact. Obviously, the more after the ball we get it, the more compression you will gain, and the more you will de-loft that club through impact and create stronger, more consistent shots and powerful shots. So we're going to aim to get you moving your pelvis the correct way and have some measurability, so know that you are doing it correctly. And if you stick to this, even if it's done at home, you will get instant results guaranteed. So what we're looking at is in the downswing, this pelvis needs to shift about 5-6 inches towards target. And the idea is we work on this position and then start to look at the rotation secondly. So we try and get the position before rotation. That's the premise of what I want you to try and do. So what I've got is a shaft in the ground here, and I'm placing this in between my feet towards my lead leg. So from this, where the ball is, and the ball being in the center, we're talking this is about 7 or 8 inches forward. Now we're going to take a second rod and put it through your belt and stick it down, and we're going to basically do some practice swings where we try and get this rod to make this contact with the shaft before we make contact with the ball. That is the practice swing I want you to do, whether we do this at home or the driving range or in the field or whatever. This will give you some accountability on whether we're moving our pelvis the right way. So as you can see, I've got this rod stuck down through my belt loops. If I take my dress position to that golf ball in the backswing, this rod will react to how I move. If it stays obviously sticking straight down, you'll probably see this move a tiny bit away from the golf ball, a tiny bit. But in downswing, we are looking for this rod to make that contact every time. And that journey starts before we finish that backswing. So it's kind of that. And we have to get this rod in the right location so where it doesn't interfere too much. But we're looking for that kind of contact every time. So as you can see there, I am making contact and pressure on that shaft every time. So you can do that just purely with practice swings, or you can try hitting a few golf balls doing this as well. And again, what I do is probably start off with some slow shots, small slow shots. And try and feel in the finish that you're kind of posting onto that rod as best you can. And that's going to get us that shift. And I said all the research we look at shows a direct correlation between good players moving laterally and poor players not moving laterally. And that gives us a big difference in how we control the consistency of the body movement and how we control that low point. So it's just a case of, can we feel that kind of consistent pressure moving across? Once we've done it a few times, you can stick the rod on the ground in the center, still use this, and almost try and feel like you're getting your trail leg to reach across to that same point. And you'll find the divot control, the strike will get so much more consistent very quickly. What we see with the worst golfers is more this way, the lead leg will be putting pressure on the shaft. The shot's pretty horrible when you do that. But that's what we see with most golfers. The ones that cut across the golf ball in particular, the pelvis tends to work back. The more we can shift this pelvis, then rotate, the better. That's a great way of feeling we're moving our body in a really good sequence and to control that low point, to get that strike really consistent. How we could take this to the golf course is just imagine the rod's on the ground. And again, in our practice swings, hitting the ground, feeling that we're posting our weight forward, and then when we go and hit the golf ball, try and imagine our right knee, right hip getting to that ball line and beyond as best we can. And that'll improve your striking no end. And we want consistent, definite thoughts on the golf course, simple thoughts. So just commit that right hip to get through the golf ball, to drive through the golf ball each and every time will improve your contact.